हाय गाइस, वेलकम टू बियर बाइसेप्स स्किल हाउस। मेरा नाम है राजस और आज हम बात करने वाले हैं आर्ट और फोटोग्राफी के बारे में, स्पेसिफिकली आर्ट इन फोटोग्राफी के बारे में। सो आई वुड लाइक टू स्टार्ट दिस वीडियो बाय डिस्कसिंग व्हाट वी अंडरस्टैंड एज आर्ट। मेरे डेफिनेशन में आर्ट इज एन एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ योर ओन क्रिएटिविटी। व्हेनेवर यू गेट अ क्रिएटिव आइडिया, आपको उस क्रिएटिव आइडिया को एक मीडियम के थ्रू एक्सप्रेस करने की इच्छा होती है। दैट मीडियम कैन बी अ सॉन्ग, अ पोएम, अ पेंटिंग, अ वीडियो, और विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टुडेज लेसन, अ फोटो। Collectively, these mediums of expression are called art. So, when we talk about art in photography, you can understand that the subject in your photo, or the background in your photo, or background plus subject, all these things become your art. सुनने में ये सब बहुत free flowing लगता है, but there are certain rules in the creation of art as well. But before you get scared, you can definitely break these rules, but only if you know them really well. Now, to understand art and photography better, let's take a look at some of these examples on screen. एक तरफ है रणवीर एंड दूसरे तरफ भी है रणवीर. दोनों में ही इज वर्किंग ऑन समथिंग यूजिंग अ लैपटॉप एंड यूजिंग अ कंप्यूटर. Let's compare these photos side by side and break down what we see in them. In the first photo, we can see a person working on a PC. बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस से वो स्क्रीन पर कुछ देख रहा है और ये भी दिख रहा है हमें कि ये एक ऑफिस एनवायरनमेंट है. सेकेंड फोटो में हमें दिखाई दे रहा है कि he's working on a laptop and he's once again focused on the task at hand. Ranveer is working by himself. It's a dark, dimly lit room and there is only a single source of light. ये सारे एलिमेंट्स हमें फोटो में दिखाई दे रहे हैं. रणवीर के कपड़े, बैकग्राउंड, लाइट, उसका एक्सप्रेशन भी. Similar elements to the first one, right? But the big difference between the two is that I call this photo a documentation and this one art. अब इसे मैं एक documentation इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ because we can only deduce from this कि रणवीर कुछ कर रहा है एक ऑफिस के रूम में, and that's it. We don't know what is going on in his mind, what is going on in his life. We don't know कि वो इतने intensity के साथ किस पे काम कर रहा है. Whereas if you see the other photo, I call it art because you see something is definitely happening in his life. The source of the light, the shadows, the colors used in the photo or the colors not used in the photo are definitely a representation of some form of art. आपको महसूस होता है ये फोटो देखने से कि ओके शायद रणवीर कुछ बात को लेकर टेंस है, स्ट्रगल कर रहा है. शायद वो जो वॉल्स पे फ्रेम्स है, दोज आर रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ हिज थॉट्स. यू कैन सी कि ही इज डेफिनेटली वर्किंग हार्ड बिकॉज ऑफ हाउ देयर इज अ लाइट सोर्स इल्यूमिनेटिंग हिज फेस स्टैंडिंग आउट फ्रॉम द बैकग्राउंड. आपको ऐसे लगता है अंधेरे के वजह से, एम्प्टीनेस के वजह से, दिस इज द एंड ऑफ द डे एंड ही स्टिल वर्किंग. Maybe it's like the darkness is his self-doubt, but the small yet bright light coming out of the keyboard of his laptop is his creativity speaking through him and illuminating the darkness. This is why this photo is what I consider as art. पहले वाले फोटो में भले ही एलिमेंट सेम है, which is light, expression, background, clothes, etc. What's setting these two photos apart is how these elements are used to create art. एक और एलिमेंट जो इन्हें अलग बनाता है is perspective. डॉक्यूमेंटेशन वाले फोटो में it's a straightforward perspective, बस कैमरा सामने रख दिया और फोटो ले लिया. But in the artistic photo, there is a down to up, हल्का सा tilted perspective, which is adding more depth to the photo. Warping scale in the photo by making Ranveer look tinier in the darkness around him. So this was a very basic gist of what is art and photography. आगे बढ़ते हैं next point पे, जिससे हम art in photography के कुछ rules establish कर सकते हैं. I like to call these four rules the four pillars of photography. These four pillars are story, immersion, camera and body, and wabi sabi. Pillar number 1, story. Your photo needs a very defining story attached to it. If someone asks you why you took this photo, भले वो फोटो लेने के 5 मिनट बाद हो या 5 साल बाद हो, you need to have a story behind it. ऐसे नहीं कि देख के अच्छा लगा और भूल गया. अगर आपके फोटो के पीछे एक अच्छी स्टोरी होगी तो बिल्कुल उस स्टोरी के जैसे ही आपका फोटो भी लोगों के दिमाग में हमेशा के लिए रहेगा. Let's take an example for this. Look at this photo carefully. Look at this photograph. This is my team Beer Biceps. This photo was taken after a very hectic shoot day. Guests late aa rahe the, there were problems in the setup, but still you can see a smile on every team member's face. You can also see that each team member's character is standing out and telling a story altogether. So let's break down this photo even further. First, you can see obviously Ranveer hai. He's smiling about something, मस्त चाय पकड़ के खड़ा है. उसके बाजू में you can see गिरीश, वो भी कुछ सुन रहा है, like something, the conversation is very engaging, you can see that. And you can see Akshat as well engaging in the conversation. He's also smiling, listening to Ranveer intently. Then we have Blake over here, chai ka sip le raha hai aaram se. And finally we have Viraj. He has his own story, like, you know, even after the hectic day, hectic shoot day ke baad, even with all this chaos going on around him, he's still on a call, probably sorting out some next brand deal or some next guest. And और भी एलिमेंट्स हम देख रहे फोटो में कैसे इसको ब्लैक एंड वाइट रखा है मैंने. And that was because I wanted the attention in the photo to go directly on the team members and not anywhere else, like the colors of the outfit or the background or, you know, excess light ka color वगैरह. तो मेरे को उस पर ध्यान ज़्यादा डालना नहीं था इन दिस फोटो. आई वॉन्टेड एवरी वन टू फोकस ऑन लाइक द टीम मेंबर्स इन द फोटो. एंड फोटो का आप देख सकते हो लीडिंग लाइंस के थ्रू और पर्सपेक्टिव के थ्रू जो कन्वर्जिंग लाइंस आ रही है डायगनल दोनों साइड से, those are also leading the attention straight towards the team members and nowhere else. So it's a very team centric photo ki haan, everyone's just chilling after a busy day. Ranveer is probably cracking some joke which he could not on the podcast in front of the guest, and just a very overall happy united team feeling wala photo. Now if you ask me why I took this photo, जैसे मैंने कहा मेरे को बस एक टीम का representation दिखाना था after a very hectic busy day, how the team interacts and what happens behind the scenes. So यही एक बहुत candid सा story था कि I wanted to show कि एक बहुत hectic दिन के बाद कैसे टीम बस chill कर रहा है, and that was the story behind this photo. Pillar number 2, emotion. Now emotion doesn't mean that you immerse the audience in the photo. It's about your own emotion. फोटो में नहीं बट उस मोमेंट में आपका इमोशन. लेट्स टेक दिस फोटो एज एन एग्जांपल. दिस फोटो इज वेरी सिंपल. इट्स ऑफ अ रेलवे स्टेशन नियर माय हाउस. एक ब्रिज है, उस पर एक आदमी चल के जा रहा है. सम प्लेसेस हैव कलर, सम प्लेसेस हैव ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट, and it's very dark. I'll explain what emotion is through a small story behind this photo. Okay, so this photo, I remember it was when I was going through a bit of a rough time in both my career and in my personal life. And I was just coming home one day late from work around like maybe 1:30 a.m. Akela the station पे, as you can see, like there's no one else on the bridge. So you can understand कि इतना खाली है bridge, मतलब बहुत ही late हो गया रात को. And I was just struggling with a lot of things, like I was blocked creatively. Things were not going well in other aspects of my life. And I climbed up the bridge and I just stopped in one place. And I saw मेरे सामने बहुत ही rare sight कि एक रेलवे का ब्रिज खाली है. And I just looked at that moment, that instance, and I stood still, maybe for like a minute or two. And then this man happened to walk by, and I just like pointed my camera and just immersed myself over there and just took a photo. And at the same time, like a lot of things were going on in my mind ki in the photo I could see like the darkness coming from the right side, and the checkered tiles on the right side, they indicate ki jo darkness hai, that is the difficulty that was there in my life at that point. And the checkered tiles are also a representation of all the chaotic thoughts in my head. And jo bridge samne ja raha hai with the man walking on it, you can see that this light coming from the left side. The reason for keeping that in color is because I wanted to show ki maybe the light, the color is like my creativity, like that will guide me through this dark phase. So that man also becomes like a representation of my hope through creativity. Ki, okay, I'll get out of this dark time. And again, like the darkness coupled with the light and limited color in the photo just signifies this key. Okay, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of difficulties to overcome, but I'll power through this. So ये थी इस फोटो के पीछे की story. But what's more important here is that I was able to construct this story and this photo because of emotion. I gave myself time to think about what I'm feeling, understand the environment around me, relate my thoughts to it, and then take the photo. ऐसे नहीं लगा कि अरे भाई अभी फोटो नहीं लूंगा तो आदमी चला जाएगा, लाइट चेंज होगा और मे बी कोई और आ जाएगा फ्रेम में. नो, I just stood there, understood myself, understood the environment, and got immersed. Immerse yourself in the photo first so that you're able to do the same for the audience. Moving on to pillar number 3, camera and body. Now by body, I don't mean like bodybuilding wali body, but I mean your own body and how comfortable you are with the camera in open surroundings. In the wild, to be honest, you may or not be able to tell that I'm a very big introvert in real life. और पक्का आप व्यूवर्स में से भी काफी लोग इंट्रोवर्ट्स होंगे. तो डेफिनेटली आपने ये प्रॉब्लम फेस किया होगा कि कोई पब्लिक इवेंट्स में, पब्लिक प्लेसेस में जब आप फोटो लेने की कोशिश करते हो, भले फोन से हो या कैमरा से, यू फील दैट हैवी वेट ऑफ शाइनेस, ऑफ अटेंशन ऑन यू. पीपल जस्ट लुकिंग एट यू कि ये फोटो ले रहा है, बाप रे. And it's just too overwhelming at times. ऐसा लगता है कि छोड़ो, I'm getting so much attention, leave it, I won't take the photo. To combat this, think of the camera as a part of your own body, an appendage of your own body. Appendage मतलब जैसे कि आपका हाथ या पैर. When you do this, you will truly become comfortable with the camera. आपको अपने हाथ या पैर की शर्म थोड़ी ना आती है. कैमरा को भी वैसे ही ट्रीट करो. Take this photo of my friend Akash for example. Look at this photograph. अब ये फोटो कुछ विजुअली स्ट्राइकिंग तो है नहीं, but a very interesting story behind it. And the reason I'm showing this for camera and body is because this was taken during a photo walk. And I remember कि हम एक bridge पे थे, and all of us were taking like photos of like what's ahead of us, like bridge के leading lines के through जो building highlight हो रही है, maybe उसका, yeah, people walking on the bridge, or just like our own participants in the photo walk एक दूसरे की photo ले रहे थे. And everyone was just taking a photo from this perspective कि हाँ ऐसे ही सामने, and all of us were feeling ऐसा थोड़ा attention on us कि अरे ये लोग कौन है, ये सब dressed in white, सब photos ले रहे एक दूसरे के, क्या हो रहा है करके. Everyone was in their own zone. थोड़े लोग छुप छुप के photos ले रहे थे. But then I saw my friend Akash. वो white t-shirt पहन के भी, इतने सारे भीड़ में भी, इतना सारा attention होके भी, he just like went on his knees and सीधा लेट गया फुटपाथ पे, and he took the winning shot. So the reason for this example was to show you how comfortable you should really be with your camera and body. And this does not just combat the problem of being comfortable in public. This also means that no matter what the situation is, no matter where you are, you should really be able to click that damn photo. आकाश ने थोड़ी ये सब सोचा कि white t-shirt खराब हो जाएगा, लोग क्या कहेंगे. He was really immersed in the photo to get a story out of it, and he was comfortable with his camera and his body, and he got the winning shot. So don't think that my camera will get dirty, or my clothes will get stains, or my lens पे scratch आ जाएगा. Be careful with your equipment, obviously, but don't limit yourself in any situation. There are other aspects in camera and body as well. Like if you're shooting in public, obviously you should take permission to shoot strangers. इससे आप में और उस stranger में ice break होता है. मतलब जो टेंशन होता है दो strangers के बीच में, वो politely बात करने से चला जाता है. ना ही सिर्फ strangers के साथ, but अगर किसी model के साथ भी आप photoshoot कर रहे हो, उनके साथ भी थोड़ी बातचीत कर लो. Make them feel comfortable. Doing this makes both the parties a bit comfortable in the environment, allowing for more emotion and story building in your photos. Pillar number 4, Wabi Sabi. No. Look at this graphic. Point 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 being story. Uska example, photo in a grid with the text title. Point 2 bhi wahi, point 3 bhi wahi. And then finally 4. It's just the black grid with Wabi Sabi written on it. Let me explain first what Wabi Sabi is. Wabi Sabi, by traditional Japanese aesthetics, is a worldview centered on the acceptance of imperfection. Imperfection. This graphic had imperfection. While the other 3 points had the name and an accompanying photo, this fourth one just had the text but presented in such a way that the body of the text acts like a photo. This imperfection in turn attracts attention in a good way, while not taking away anything from the other 3 points. Japanese culture में wabi sabi का इस्तेमाल बहुत ही creatively use किया गया है. Suppose कोई bowl है which is dropped and gets cracked, उसको फेंकने से अच्छा उन cracks को gold से fill किया जाता है, and it looks like this, and it's perfect. So the whole philosophical aspect of this is to try to find perfection in imperfection and try to accept those imperfections. Don't look for perfection in every photo. हर फोटो में जरूरी नहीं कि straight lines होते ही है. हर फोटो में freeze frame action होना जरूरी नहीं है. And obviously the light is going to change as well, and that does not mean that you limit yourself by not taking the photo. Rather, accept the imperfections and capture your frame as it is. And maybe also try to use this in life, and don't always chase perfection. And maybe you lead a much more fulfilling life. Calm, shant. Okay, let's get back to our subject now. I want to present some more examples for our 4 pillars that we covered today. These are some photos taken by an idol of mine, Steve McCurry. Steve McCurry is a very popular American photographer जिनके फोटोज बहुत बार नेशनल ज्योग्राफिक मैगजीन्स के कवर पे भी आ चुके हैं. इनका फोटोग्राफी स्टाइल मुझे बहुत ही ज़्यादा पसंद आया ever since I saw his photo documentation of the city of Mumbai in an old magazine. मैं exactly define नहीं कर पाता हूँ उनका वो क्वालिटी किस में था. क्या वो फिल्म यूज की वजह से था, या कॉम्पोजिशन था, या लाइटिंग, या कलर, आई डोंट नो. एवरी फोटो जस्ट हैड अ सेंस ऑफ कंप्लीशन इन इट. जो भी रफ से रफ भी फोटोज होते थे उसमें काफी ज्यादा कैरेक्टर होता था. सो आई विल प्रेजेंट अ फ्यू फोटोज फॉर यू गाइस टू अंडरस्टैंड स्टोरी, इमोशन, कैमरा एंड बॉडी एंड वाबी साबी बेटर थ्रू स्टीव McCurry. The caption says कि this is a photo from Afghanistan when Taliban took over in 1990, and without getting into the caption altogether, your mind starts making a story behind it कि what is happening in this photo. Like you see a very old looking statue of Lord Buddha, and उसके सामने a very contrasting image of a Taliban insurgent lighting up a cigarette and with a AK-47 gun right next to the statue. पीछे एक आदमी तो हैवी मशीन गन को लोड कर रहा है. दिस वन मोर ऑफ द तालिबान इंसर्जेंट सिटिंग नेक्स्ट टू हिम, and it's just a very contrasting photo with, you have on one side the literal representation of peace and stability, Lord Buddha, and on the other side you have these Taliban insurgents with like literal representations of violence with like guns and cigarettes, and that is the story behind the photo as well. कि जब ये सब हुआ था and how they destroyed a lot of like ancient monuments वगैरह. But without reading the caption again, your mind just starts like making stories behind it कि chaos took over peace and a lot of stuff got destroyed. So that becomes your story in a photo. And बाकी के भी points काफ़ी अच्छे तरीके से cover हुए हैं ये photo में, which is your wabi sabi. You can see कि the lines are not straight, adds to the chaos in the story. Immersion इसके through समझ में आता है कि he must have waited for him to light the cigarette at the right time, and that just adds a lot of character to the photo. So that was our first example. Let's move on to the next one. Up next, we have Immersion. Beautiful photo again. This is of a man reading a newspaper in Myanmar in 2017. Story तो आपको बिना caption के again you start making things in your head कि he's old, alone in a retirement home. But apart from the story, the main point here is immersion. Kaise, he must have waited for just the right moment, and he got the photo of the man reading the paper at the right angle with the first page of the newspaper जहाँ पे वो Coca-Cola का ad हो रहा है with the man drinking, and those lines just like wonderfully intersect, and it looks like it's an extension of the same man reading, same man drinking Coke. Immersion तो इसमें mainly यही बात के through हो रहा है कि he must have definitely waited for a long time over there just to get the photo right. कि you see कि it's a wonderful illusion where you see कि it looks like the man who is reading the photo is the same man who is drinking the bottle of Coke as well on the front page of the paper. So that was an immersion. Wabi Sabi again, mess around him. It's adding to the character of the photo, the story कि he's alone in a retirement home. And camera and body again, same point, introvert, being shy वाला कि ऐसे नहीं लगा कि what will he think of me while I'm taking the photo. Maybe he even spoke to him कि is it okay if I take a photo of you. So वो candidness हुआ, वो icebreaker हुआ. So that is your camera and body in this photo as well. But mainly it was immersion, कि just waiting for the right time, being present, being immersed yourself in the frame, so that through that you immerse your audience and just keep looking at the photo ki what am I looking at, is it the same man on the cover, is it the same man reading the paper, Coke kaun pee raha hai? It's just a wonderful photo. Up next we have camera and body and a wonderful photo to accompany it. This photo is from 1983 on a train going from Peshawar to Rawalpindi, and the caption says the story is कि these guys are passing the breakfast tray from the kitchen of the car to the passenger compartment because the door was blocked in between, and इसलिए वो बाहर जाके ये सब एक दूसरे को पास कर रहे थे. So that is the story. Irrespective of whether or not you read the caption, you just look at it and you build up a lot of things in your mind again. Immersion definitely हुआ होगा because he must have seen this happening repeatedly, and that's why he thought कि okay, this will make a great story, this will make a great photo. So he must have waited there for the right moment as well. But coming to the highlight of this photo, the point that I want to highlight is camera and body. Definitely hanging out of a train at this speed is difficult for these guys who are passing the tray, the heavy tray with the tea on it, but also difficult for the photographer because you scared at that point कि you will fall off, camera को कुछ हो जाएगा. I'm sure that was not in his head at that time. He just wanted to take a great shot, which he excelled at, and that is through camera and body. सोचा नहीं कि क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा, just took the shot and that's it. Great shot again. And the last point that I want to highlight is Wabi Sabi through this photo. Caption says a man waits to have his shoes repaired at maybe the smallest shoe cobbler shop in the world, Mumbai, India, 1996. Again, 4 pillars. Story देख के समझ जाता है क्या हो रहा है. Story becomes very obvious कि white collar person, blue collar person, एक जो अपने शूज रिपेयर करवा के ले रहे हैं, एंड दूसरा कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग पार्ट इज the cobblers themselves. Immersion also, as you can see, is a big part of this photo because जैसे वो cobblers एक दूसरे को फेस कर रहे हैं and they're almost looking in the center, all of them, all 4 of them from both the sides, but the man whose shoes are being repaired, he's looking at the other side. तो बिना leading lines के he's brought leading lines towards the subject, the man in the center, through the guys looking at him or not looking at him, but somewhere in the center itself. He must have waited over there to get it at the right time. Camera and body, again, being comfortable in a situation like this in the wild where people are looking at you, people like the cobblers also must have ऑब्जर्व कि कोई हमारा फोटो ले रहा है. द मैन हिमसेल्फ, he must have seen कि कोई मेरा फोटो ले रहा है, but did not stop Mr. Steve McCurry from taking the photo. So great job on camera and body as well. But mainly the point that I want to highlight in this photo is Wabi Sabi. आप देख सकते हो आसपास, मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि परफेक्ट कलर है एज एन ऑन द वॉल्स. राइट साइड पे देख सकते हो पोस्टर्स जो है फटे हुए हैं ऑन द वॉल्स एंड ऑल. लेफ्ट साइड पे भी कुछ दाग वाग लगा है दीवार पे. The cobbler shop also is not neat and tidy. It's just all over the place. But the man in the center, he's wearing a pristine white shirt, and around him is this hodgepodge of colors and just roughness all around him. But it's all tying the picture together. So that is Wabi Sabi in this photo. So these were a few examples by Steve McCurry for my point of having 4 pillars in photography. Do have a look at more of his work and definitely seek inspiration. And with that, we conclude today's lesson about art and photography. आगे के मॉड्यूल्स में हम जानेंगे कुछ टेक्निकल्स अबाउट फोटोग्राफी, लाइक कंपोजिशन के रूल्स क्या होते हैं, एंड कैसे जो सारे आर्टिस्टिक रूल्स थे वो सब आप कंपोजिशन के थ्रू कैसे ला सकते हो. सो सी यू गाइस इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो.